those Jordan 1s, which I cannot stand that they're doing. They're going to limit those to 10,000 pairs, and only so many stores are going to get them.
Ha! Gay!
That's a guaranteed hit. Guaranteed. Once again, like, it's funny because, like I just said, they ain't not going to leave money on the table, but then they'll do some dumb shit like this and leave money on the table. Because there's no way you can't tell me that they can't make 100,000 pairs and sell through. Ain't no way. Because what? General release is what, 250-ish?
How many came out the last time? What was that, about 5?
2016?
Yeah.
That was a reason. It was like
that was a good general release.
So that's what I'm saying is, what's the difference now?
Why treat the customer this way? Why? Because them, that's why.
Because I can make, if I bump the price up, those were like $150, $160. Now that I'm bumping the price up only $90 and making less pair, they're looking at it, instead of me making, when we sold them for $150 and we made 300,000 pair, but if I bump it up to $250 and only make 10,000, I can make almost the same amount of money while making less pairs, while using less material, less labor, which is a trash way. That's probably their way of thinking.
But you're still gonna make that money, even if they could have kept the price at $250, made 100,000 pairs, and
they
still would have sold
sold out.
Yeah, here's my beef with that whole with the way they thinking, because just look at what all the shit they're releasing this year, right? They become reactionary.
I think to me, I believe this year is a short-term fix with a long-term problem, because guess what? If I give you everything you want in 1 year, what do I got for 26, 27, and 28?
So I'm curious to see what is on the calendar for 2026.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm very curious.
There's nothing. You could have knocked off a third of them. You could have gave us 5 shoes we really want every year. Once a quarter.
I agree.
4 years. And you could have stretched that out to 4 years, because as I argued, nobody only wants to buy OGs. And I was an argument, and he was like, the designers are gonna got this, like, well, they don't have that same.
I was defending the designers.
Yeah, but I'm saying they don't have that same when it comes to it. And then going back to the other argument, when you don't have people in your company who has passion for the sneaker culture, you get people making decisions that's beneficial. So if I don't like boats and I'm running a boat company and I'm like, yeah, we should start making our yachts 10 feet shorter.
What?
And people are now going on yachts. People are now bringing their family and friends on yachts. And then we're wondering why.
It's a hell of a...
you know what I'm saying?
I love it.
JB Yachts is out selling ours. Oh, what is this? It's like, no, because you don't know what the people want. Hire what people want. Adidas did it. They needed the black dollar. They didn't know how to reach black people outside of forums and Adidas and top 10s. So they went and got black people who knew how to speak to black people organically, and that's how they got the black money.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest?
At some point, you can't rest on your morals and say, we're Nike, because what it is, people will find other things like they've done in the last 5 years to buy. And you're 90, I'll say 80% of the reason why Nike has the competition it has is because their lack of forecasting, design, and innovation.
That's my point.
That's you're the reason. Basketball-wise, James Harden shoe, probably his best-looking shoe, that Volume 9, cold. Anthony Edwards, like who went to the Nike school. Steph Curry, you copied and pasted Kevin Durant presentation. Like, you let all of these people walk out. That's the only reason why there is even competition.
You know what the problem is, though? Is because everything, I agree with most everything you're saying. The problem is when you got 80% market share, it's easy to be like,
because them, that's why.
And you become too complacent.
There you go. Well, you quote it all the time, Bane. What do you say in The Dark Knight Rises?
Peace has cost you your strength. Victory has defeated you.
Their problem is they become reactionary, right? Mm-hmm. So they're no longer leading, they're reacting. And they're reacting to, quote unquote, the sneaker community. Now, we can argue all day which parts of the sneaker community are worth listening to, but they're listening to the quote unquote sneaker community. So when they're looking at it like, yo, when we made shit limited, y'all couldn't get enough of this shit. Y'all was paying $1,000 for this shit or whatever. Now that we've, quote unquote, flooded the market on most shoes, now y'all talking about they ducks, which to me is such a dumbass argument. I cannot stand people who will sit there and be like, I don't want this shoe because it's sitting. That should have no bearing. Is the shoe dope or not? I don't give a fuck if they made 200 million pairs of great fives. I'm getting a pair. Everybody on the planet could have a pair. Don't care. I think they're dope. So therefore, I'm going to buy a shoe. this idea that a shoe has to be limited in order for it to be worth posting, worth talking about, worth mentioning, worth buying is such a dumbass argument. I get annoyed with it, but then that's what the brand sees. The brand sees and hears that shit, and now they'll be like, okay, well, we're going to limit the shoe. Because I'm hearing there's going to be other shoes that's going to be limited, you know. Ain't no telling how many pairs of the 4s they're going to have. Ain't no telling how many pairs of the grade 5s. And so, yeah, it's going to, like you said, it's a short-term problem to a long-term problem. Because, yeah, it's going to generate hype. But the thing about hype, it has a very short shelf life. Because people move on to the next thing. Once the ones drop, they moving on to the next shoe. And once that shoe drops, they moving on to the next shoe. And so you're going to have to tell me how you're going to sustain this. Because you still have to make money as a company. And let's be honest. When we're talking about Nike and Jordan Brand in particular, people looking at their past shit more than looking for any upcoming. Nobody give a fuck about the Jordan 40s. Nobody's talking about those. They talking about the ones, though. They talking about the 4s, though. Matter of fact, tell me a Nike or Jordan Brand shoe that's not a retro that you're looking forward to. You can't. You can't. Like, because nobody, there's not a shoe that they're coming out with that's new that anybody's like, I gotta have right now.
You're not looking forward to them Wimbies. I know them gonna be in a size 15. That's probably gonna be the starting size.